St. John Missionary Baptist Church presents The Voice of Triumph with Pastor Antonio Alfred. Enjoy the music and the message of Pastor Alfred as we join the worship service at St. John Missionary Baptist Church.
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10, Paul speaks to the church at Ephesus, and he gives them some words. If you could please stand and turn to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. It reads in the King James translation, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might." Be strong. The growing Christian and the enemy. That's my title. Be strong. The growing Christian and the enemy. The believer has to be strong in the battle with the enemy to get to higher ground. In Ephesians chapter 6, the Apostle Paul speaks to the church as a commanding general, a commanding officer would speak to his soldiers about frontline fighting. Paul was trying to get them to understand that they were on the battlefield, and he issued a fourfold command to the believers at Ephesus. He said, be strong, put on the full armor of God, stand firm, and pray. He says to the Christian, you have an enemy who is trying to hinder your spiritual growth. And the enemy is Satan. Amen. The enemy is Satan. He is crafty, and he has cohorts. In other words, he is clever. He's a schemer. He has some wild ways about himself. And just in case you think you've been here long enough to deal with the devil, he wants you to know that he ain't by himself. He has some cohorts. They're called fallen angel demons. And they've been known to enter into people who do not belong to the Lord and get them to do things that are against the will of God. He's been known to even incite believers to go against the will of God. If you don't believe it, check with David and the people of Israel. And so Paul wanted them to understand that you have an enemy. He is Satan. As we examine this exhortation, the Apostle Paul says that we have an adversary. And let me talk about the adversary in this battle. The adversary in this battle. I already gave you his name, and the text reveals that he is a determined enemy. He's determined to destroy you. And verse 11, Paul calls him the devil. In the Old Testament, he is referred to as the serpent, as Satan. And he really does exist. And though it ain't a pretty thing to talk about, and though I may not get a whole lot of shouts right here, I have to tell you that every Christian has enlisted to fight the enemy. Every Christian, I feel God, every Christian has enlisted to fight the enemy. You are in a fight. I don't know what you joined for, but you're in a fight. Tell your neighbor, when you join the church, you joined in the fight. You are in a fight with the enemy. You're in a fight with the enemy. The reason you're having hell at home is because you're in a fight with the enemy. The reason why you're having trouble on your job is because you're in a fight with the enemy. The reason why the church, yes, even the church house, has to deal with struggles and trials and conflict is because we're in a fight. Fight with me, not against me. Can you grab your neighbor by the hand right there and say, fight with me, not against me. Say, we've got a real enemy, and his name is the devil. He's come to steal, to kill, and destroy. But say, if we stand together, if we fight together, we'll win in the end. Somebody act like they don't believe it. Do you believe it? Say, if you don't believe it, check the book, check the book, check the book, check the book. I know he showed up in Genesis. I know he showed up in the middle. But if you read the end of the story, Jesus said, in the end, we win. We win, we win, we win. We have to help each other. Are you still with me? We have to help each other. We have to help each other. Tell your neighbor, say, we have to help each other. Think about it. We have to help each other. What are we doing? Fighting, husbands fighting your wives, and wives fighting your husbands, and parents fighting your children, and children fighting your parents, and siblings fighting one another. What are we doing? We have to help. We have to help each other. Help one another. We have to help one another in this battle with the adversary. Help one another. Help another Christian who is struggling with temptation. Y'all don't want to go there. Y'all don't want to know. It's not. Maybe you ain't dealing with nothing. Maybe you don't have no desires. Oh, my God. Maybe you don't have no desires that you shouldn't do, but you want to do, and sometimes you do. Oh, you know what you do. Come on. But the rest of us got some stuff that Paul says, when I don't want to do it, I find myself doing it. And then when I want to do it, I find myself not doing it. What's going on in me? He said there's a struggle. Oh, I wish I had. I'm wrestling, I'm fighting with temptation. We need to help one another fight with temptation. Please don't take my temptation to the street. Can you just come alongside of me? I wish I had a witness right there. Can you just come alongside of me and help me overcome my temptation? I know I ain't perfect. I know I've got some faults, but baby, you do too. And if we in this thing together, can we help? Can we help each other? Help another person who's discouraged. Life has a way of coming into your life, watch this, and punching you and knocking you to the floor. You feel discouraged, you're down on the ground. Can we not just pass by and look at one another? I mean, can we not just be so busy that we pass by somebody that's down and out and say, I need you to help me get back up again. I've been knocked down. I've been hit in the face. I've been struck from behind. I've received a blow that I did not expect. And can you just please give me a helping hand? Somebody say, help. Help one another. Help another believer that's going through difficulties. Help another believer that's going through difficulties. We've got trouble in our lives. We've got some difficult things. Some of us, listen, you would be shocked to learn. You would be shocked to learn what the person next to you has to deal with right now. You would be shocked. I mean, it would blow you away if they started to tell you about the difficulties that they're facing right now. It would mess you up. And they're saying to you, I need your help. I need you to help me. Can I get some help in there today? It's the church. I mean, listen, we got to fight with the devil. That's enough. Right there, if you ain't got to fight with nobody else but the devil, you got enough fight on your hands. Can we help one another? Say, I'm going through something. Come on, tell your neighbor, be honest. Say, I'm going through something. I'm going through something. It's difficult for me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Help another pilgrim pass through this barren land. It gets lonely out here. There's somebody in this room right now, even though there are people in this place around them right now, they feel alone. They feel alone in this world. Can you help? Can you help them? Can you just wrap your arms around them and say you're not by yourself? You're not in this thing by yourself. It may feel like that, but the reality is you're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, that you're surrounded by a church family who will love on you and help you get through whatever you're going through. Somebody say, help somebody along the way. Are you going to help somebody? How do we help? How do we help one another in this battle? Get on your knees and pray for one another. Get on your knees and lift their name up before the Lord. Ask God to pour out a blessing in their lives. Ask God to strengthen them up on every side. Ask God to make a way for them out of no way. I wish I had a witness right here. Get in the Word and give some encouragement to one another. Somebody needs to know that the Lord will make a way out of no way. Somebody needs to hear that God says, I know my plans for you, plans to prosper you. God says, I am your healer. Get in your word and help somebody. God says, I am the Prince of Peace. Get in your word and help somebody. God says, I am your Redeemer. I am your Restorer. I am that I am. In other words, whatever they're going through, you need to say, God says, whatever you need, He says, I am. Are you lonely? I'll be a friend that sticks closer to you than a brother. Are you hurting? I'm a comforter. Isn't God good? Come on, give God a hand of praise. That was some rough waters. That was some rough waters. And tell your neighbor, say, we made it through. We made it through. That was some rough. That was rough right there, Pastor. That was rough. And that was rough. But I'm going to take you home. Hopefully you'll be encouraged. I'm going to take you home. I'm going to take you home. Take you home. If you're going to get to higher ground in the grace of God, you have to use the available resources in the battle. That's my last point. The available resources in the battle. I need some praying folks right now. Be strong in the Lord. That's what he said. Be strong in the Lord. It's a Greek word. And in the Greek, be strong is a verb. That means there's action. There's an action word. And in the Greek, it's in the present tense. When a word is in the present tense in the Greek, it means that it's ongoing. It's continuous. But it's in the passive voice. And a Greek word in the passive voice means that something is done to you or for you. However, there's a command because it's in the imperative mood. Be strong. And so what it means is this, because when you hear be strong, you would probably think it means for you to just pull up your bootstraps and take it. But that's not what Paul was saying. He really was saying, become able to do something. To become able to do something. And then he qualifies it with this phrase. He says, be strong in the Lord. I can't hear nobody but the preachers. He said, be strong in the Lord. Watch this. This phrase indicates that the strengthening takes effect only in union with Jesus Christ. It means he's saying to you, be strong in the battle with the enemy. And the way you become strong in the battle, you didn't hear it yet, is first of all, you have to be in the Lord. Now, there's a reason. There's a reason he says you have to be in the Lord, because in the battle with the enemy, the truth be told, sometimes we feel weak in the flesh. That's why you fall. That's why you miss the mark. It's because Jesus said the flesh is weak. And tell your neighbor, I don't care how pretty your flesh is. I don't care how strong you think your flesh is. Say the flesh is weak. Somebody ought to say amen right there. So in the battle with the enemy, you may feel weak in the flesh, but Paul says you can become strong in the Lord. I'm weak in the flesh, Minister Wheeler, but I can become strong in the Lord. I'm about to get some help right here. I feel it coming. My help is coming. My help is coming. In other words, in the Lord, watch this, there is strong trust. That's why Job could say, when the devil attacked him, that even if God slays me, yet shall I trust in him. Job said, I don't know why all this stuff is happening to me, but I am strong in the Lord. Not only that, but watch this. That's why David could say on the battlefield, looking at Goliath, that today this giant will learn that there is a God in Israel. And though he was little, though he was young, though all he had was a slingshot and 3 rocks, he was strong in the Lord. Somebody ought to give him a praise right there. Tell your neighbor, say you might be weak in the flesh, say but you are strong in the Lord. Come on, give God a hand of praise. Abraham could say, my body's all dried up and my wife can't have children, but I received a promise from God and I am strong in the Lord. Come on, give God a hand of praise right there. Be strong. Be strong. Be strong in the Lord. Strong faith. Strong trust. Strong courage. Say be strong. Come on, give God praise. Give God praise. Be strong, be strong. Everybody ain't shouted yet. Everybody ain't shouted yet. And I think it's because you're still thinking, watch this, you're still thinking that the strength is coming from you. So let me show you. See, because when you look at you, can we be real? When you look at you, you know nobody know you like you know you. And when you look at you and you say, I know what he's telling me to do, but when I look at myself, I don't see anything in me to be able to accomplish what God has put on me. Well, that's why Paul didn't stop at be strong in the Lord. He said, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Oh my God, today I got it. He said, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Paul is speaking about the power that overcomes resistance. I don't know what's resisting you, but God said there's some power available to overcome the resistance. It is the same power that Jesus used to work miracles. Anybody need a miracle up in this place? Say, be strong in the Lord. It's this power is inherent to the Lord, but it's accessible to you. In other words, the power is just part of who God is. That's why we like to say in the Baptist church, he's God all by himself. He has all power in his hands. Not only in his hands, but a little old lady found out that there was power in the hem of his garment. He had power. That's why he told Martha, I know your brother is dead, but I am the resurrection and the life. In other words, say, Martha, I am power. Somebody ought to give him a power praise right there. The reason you ought to praise him is because the power belongs to Jesus. But by faith, you can access the power. The power belongs to God. But by faith, you could be accessing the power to make you strong. Do you want it? Do you need it? If you need it and you want it, tell your neighbor, use your power. Use your power. Use your power of prayer. Pray your way out of it. Use your power of the word. Speak your way out of it. Use your power of the blood. Declare your way out of it. And if you don't have nothing else, use the power of the resurrection. Praise your way out of it. Use your power. Use your power. Use your power. There was a little old lady, lived way out in the boondocks. She didn't have no electricity. And so she called the electric company. She said, I want some power lines ran to my house so I can have some electricity. They said, all right, ma'am, we'll do that for you. They went out to her house and they ran the lines to her house. But then after about 6 months, they noticed that only 1 unit of electricity had been used by this little old lady. And so they said, we need to go back and check and make sure everything is all right. So the man goes to the house. He knocks on the door. He said, ma'am, have you been using your electricity? She said, yes, I've been using it. He said, may I ask what you've been using it for? She said, well, sir, I've been using it at night. He said, whenever it gets dark, I take my electricity to use it so I can see, watch this, my lantern and light my lamp. All right, Doc. That ain't the clapping part. 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 He said, wait a minute, ma'am. He said, you're telling me you use the light to light the lamp? He said, don't you understand that we've wired enough electricity to your house to light up your house all night long? This little lady did not grasp the fact that the electrical power that she had access to was more than enough power to light up her house. I need you to ask 3 people around you, say, are you aware of the power that you have access to? Say, are you aware of the power that's available to you? Say, stop using your lantern and start using your power to light up all the house. Power, Holy Ghost power. Anybody want that power? Say, use the power. Use the power. Stop playing with it. Some of y'all still playing with it right here. If you wave your hands, watch me. If you wave your hands, if you open your mouth, if you get on your feet, that's a sign of praise in the sanctuary. God says, when my people praise me, I inhabit the praises of my people. He's saying to you right now, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how hard it is for you right now, if you just can give me a shout, if you can give me a hand wave, if you can stand on your feet, I'll access you, I'll connect you with my power. You see, sometimes, watch this, I read in the Old Testament that they would clap cymbals, and they would play drums, and they would play music, and they would sing songs. But I learned in the Bible that that's called Old Testament worship. Because they had not yet tapped in to the power of God. But when Jesus showed up at that well, he said, God is looking for some worshipers who will worship me in spirit and in truth. In other words, he was saying, y'all still worshiping me the old way, but I'm looking for somebody who will worship me in the Lord and make connection with the power of God. So I'm asking you for just 2 minutes. Can you lift God up a praise? Can you lift God up a worship? Can you shout? Can you praise? Somebody need a healing. Somebody need a breakthrough. Shout, praise, worship him in this place. Tell him God is God all by himself. God is